I spent 2 years developing an organism simulator called Corpusim. I wanted people to understand complex biology deeply by interacting with it directly. And I hoped that it could be used to develop new drugs and procedures. Then I saw AI. I saw where it was going. And I stopped work on Corpusim. This is the story of what led to that decision, and why I think it was the right decision. Corpusim, my project, lets people explore the body down to the size of a virus. That was a technically ambitious goal for me. I'm proud of how far I got with it. I did a lot of coding to make it performant. I wrote algorithms to make shapes, a type of geometry that lets those shapes blob together, cut away cleanly, and scale freely. I had a living sandbox. I was having fun, but the product is what really matters. And the way I produced was becoming obsolete. The rendering pipeline is critical for interactive graphics. Each pixel considers the elements of the scene affecting it to determine its color. Which 3D models in the scene are projected into that pixel? Which lights in the scene affect it? Shadows. Material properties like roughness, color absorption, reflections of light rays from other elements in the scene. These sophisticated rendering techniques are all used to create frames, which are the pictures of the flipbook that animate digital worlds like video games. Every single pixel will be generated soon. Not rendered, generated. Jensen is saying, get rid of all that stuff. In its place, swap in a digital mind that can imagine the frames of the flipbook. When a machine learning model imagines a frame, it's not bogged down in the complex math of reflections and refraction and materials absorbing photons. It just knows what stuff should look like and imagines it for you in pixel-perfect detail. Neural rendered frames can even be interactive, like in the Game Engine project. There's another approach in neural rendering, which is to have a low-fidelity traditional rendering pass. You'll get precise control over the elements in the scene and the interactive experience, but let AI run wild with the final image. Your low-fidelity image is an input to the AI. I did some tests a while back to see how this could look with Corpusim. I saw the result and thought, I have to. Corpusim has to generate its frames. This microproject helped the decision to set Corpusim aside and focus on AI. Painful, but insightful. By the way, if you want more insights and strategies, do whatever action is on your platform. Follow, subscribe, you know the drill. There are other rendering techniques like Gaussian Splatting that offer a lot of promise. Many of them are either under the heading of neural rendering or AI augmented in some way. Of course, AI upgrades are not limited to rendering. They're transforming a wide range of computational processes. Many labs seem to be asking the fundamental question, what if AI did this? But the rendering pipeline is a good case study. For decades, we got incremental, linear progress. And then in a sliver of our timeline, a total transformation. For me, it was a black swan. I expect all of you have been seeing many of those. Anyway, I stopped building Corpusim because 1, better software was possible with AI graphics, and 2, I work better with an AI partner. We'll get into that next. It's become a consensus opinion that AI will expand into more areas, and that software engineering in particular will no longer be the domain of human engineers. Here's how the CEO of Anthropic framed it in March of 2025. I think we will be there in 3 to 6 months, where AI is writing 90% of the code, and then in 12 months, we may be in a world where AI is writing essentially all of the code. So, say your planned coding effort is 3 years. If 2 years from now AI can build your product in an instant, then what's the point of working on it for those 2 years? I hated this concept when I first heard it. I wanted to pick it apart. It's not totally correct. There's still value in human effort in thinking through a problem and designing, but it's notionally true. Case in point, 2 years of development on Corpusim, and I had early prototypes, proofs of concept. With my AI partners, I built and shipped 3 products in a span of 5 months. Proportia, a simple data visualizer for comparing number values. Retropixel camera, which makes the world look like retro graphics in real time. Rooted in language tiles, an interactive tool for English language teachers to use. I built and shipped 3 products in 5 months using a framework and a language that I knew nothing about beforehand. Nothing as ambitious as Corpusim, but the pace of development was an order of magnitude greater. Now, when someone approaches me with this wild-eyed energy, saying they've become 10 times better at their job, I get it. When someone says they have AI superpowers, you should probably believe them. I talk with my partners to create a product vision. We research product market fit. We build specifications together, context engineering. That's huge. We build graphics together. And when it comes to coding, I'm like a guide, doing a tiny fraction of the typing that I used to do. AI-assisted engineering I think of like going from a hand shovel to an excavator, where anyone can get a lot more work done, but being a competent tool user pays off enormously. That puts me in agreement with the common opinion that AI is more about augmenting than replacing. Still, the nature of work is totally different from what it was just a few years ago, and it's still rapidly changing. Which leads to the question, what thinking should happen in my brain and what in the computer brain? In other words, what is the optimal configuration of human and machine knowledge workers as we progress through the age of AI? I'm contending with that question for myself with what I call nimble microprojects. Come up with an idea, check your odds of making it work, and then do it. For ideation, establish a goal that you would like to come from the work. That could be an improved work process or your next product. Consider your or your business's unique stack of interests and capabilities. That will help you filter. It's crucial to reorient yourself to the current tech landscape. Do this at the end of every cycle. When you resurface between cycles, that's when you evaluate and reconfigure the roles of machine and human minds, because the technology has evolved from where it was when you started. I think that's the best approach, because with all the information flowing in from the world, you risk going an inch deep into all the hyped areas. Slow down to build, but stay agile. When you resurface and reorient, you are avoiding the trap of keeping your head down so long that the waves crash over you and move on without you. I call this approach surfing the singularity because it's a way to convert the massive, uncontrollable energy of the AI revolution into our own forward movement. By singularity, I just mean rapid technological change or an increasing density of black swans. I've spent my career in these fields and recently found that helping others navigate these technology waves is incredibly rewarding. That's why, in addition to building stuff, I'm working with businesses to help them apply artificial intelligence, automation, and simulations. But returning to the subject, where does that leave Corpusim? Well, it's dead, but resurrectable. And its resurrected form would be more powerful thanks to AI. I'm certain this Gandalf-esque transformation is not just happening with my projects. Every organization stands to become far more efficient and reach technologies that were recently science fiction. So obviously, I'm all in on the AI hype. I think it's a matter of time before we all are, But I'd love to hear your thoughts. How is the surf treating you? See you next time.